Okay. I don't know how to start this video, but we're going to try. I want to tell you all my testimony, my experience of finding Jesus and being saved, I guess. I got to give a little background though. Middle school was kind of the time frame. I'm 20, I'll be 22 this month. So middle school, that long ago, was kind of where everything began to fall apart with my faith. And I had prior events that were happening in my family that kind of just caused middle school to be the climax of everything. I'd been a really bad kid. I was doing really dumb stuff, and I remember 7th grade, I had ISS like 5 days in a row, one whole week. And the last day of that week, I didn't want to have ISS. Like, I went into a class and was like, I'm going into this class and I'm going to be a good student. And it was the same teacher that had sent me to ISS the past 4 days. And within 5 minutes, she sent me to ISS. I think I just made a joke or something. And in my mind, the way I acted was natural. Like, I was so unself-aware. I had really bad ADHD, and I was never really good at paying attention to anything, but somehow I could squeeze by with good grades. But yeah, I remember that Friday there had been a lot of other stuff going on outside of school that was affecting the way I was acting in school. And that Friday I ended up getting that ISS and going to the principal's office, and I was sobbing. I was crying my eyes out, just mad and shaking. Even like in the chair, he had told me that I got ISS and that I'll have to do that for a while. And he left the room, and I was just still sitting there shaking and crying. And I had a cross necklace that was made out of like nails. There's 2 that were going up and down, and then 1 going across. And it was just wire wrapped together. And I remember ripping it off, like, and just tossing it in the trash can. And from that point forward, I kind of just stopped any kind of effort into looking for God up until I'd say around 2 years ago now. I had been in a relationship that lasted for a really long time, and we were just both young and stupid and not aware of what the other really needed or anything. We weren't made for each other. Let's just put it that way. And I remember after we had broken up, I went down a really bad road, started smoking weed every day from sunup to sundown. Like, there was no time for me to be sober. I didn't want to feel at all. Like, I just wanted to be numb. And weed was the thing that did that for me. At least at that time. And while I was doing that, I started, like, I had so much free time. I started reading books and kind of just trying to figure out what my purpose was, and you can't really figure out purpose without knowing who gave you the purpose. So I was kind of looking in all the right places, but with the wrong mindset, I guess. And I remember going to a nature trail and just, like, I was high off my rocker and I was standing on a little bridge, like, over a little river thingy, and there was really beautiful scenery. And I just was, like, trying to see if there was a sign. Like, I wanted to see something that would tell me what to do. And in my state of mind, I was like, I was so delusional at that point that it just kind of catalyzed my new age beliefs, which is another thing. I guess this is like I never knew that what I was doing was considered new age up until my sister had told me about it. And it's weird how much it's true, but new age is like meditation and incense burning and sage and just kind of all these weird, like, almost, I don't want to say pagan, but just weird. It's honestly, in my opinion, it's the devil's work, and it is the devil's work. I can't remember the girl's name, but I've watched a lot of videos on it now, and the mother of New Age was a Lucifer praiser, and I didn't know that at the time. While I was doing this, I thought I was doing everything I knew. I thought I was letting the right person into my life, the right spiritual force, I guess, into my life. But at the time, I had no idea. Like, I thought what I was doing was right. I thought I was doing the right thing. And I remember after doing all those drugs and going on my little search for meaning, I had got some very strong beliefs about certain things, like how I could like feel the energy of other people, and that we were like, everybody was just not real, I guess. I thought everything was a dream, I guess, and we're all living our own little realities, but we're stuck in our own head. We're like I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. So anyways, it made absolutely no sense to anybody but me. So if that doesn't say anything, that's why I felt like I was going crazy. After I'm gonna get to that point. So I ended up, whilst in the midst of whatever word I'm trying to say right now, while going through my little weed smoking purpose journey, or purpose finding journey, it led me to the opportunity of taking a drug that should have killed me. I didn't know that at the time, but after I had researched it, after I did it, which was probably something I should have done before, but I'm kind of thankful that I went through it. I experienced it, because it kind of it felt like everything that I had been trying to say before I took that drug wasn't making sense to anybody but me. Then I took that drug, and then it just sent me completely overboard. Everything was clicking in my head. I felt like I was making so much sense to myself. I felt like I finally found meaning and reason and purpose and morality, I guess. I thought, like, there was just more to everything. I thought I could see, like, I could look at a freaking box of cereal and see, like, some sort of destiny in it. Like, something, like, anything, any word, like, any words that I would look at would, like, talk to me. And it eventually got to the point where the words that would talk to me, that were jumping off the screens and out of books, were telling me to kill myself. And that's kind of the point where, this is all in the duration of like a week, by the way. After I took this drug, it happened so fast. And I was turning 21 that month, which was last November, the 27th. And it was a Monday, I remember. And I was still kind of just delusional at that point. Everything was kind of wearing off, and I'd still been smoking pretty frequently. But I had to move back home after I took that drug. And, yeah, I was just kind of not hanging out as much as I was before with my friends, and eventually I kind of got to the point where I was really alone and still seeing all these words like jump at me. I felt like I was the chosen one, I guess is the best way to put it. And Yeah, I remember having my birthday that Monday, eating some pizza and drinking some beer. And then that following Friday, I got checked into a mental hospital. Or, yeah, that following Friday. Or Saturday, I guess. I went on the Saturday. And while I was there, I wanted to be there. Like, I wanted to be alone. Like, I wanted to be away from everybody I cared about so I couldn't hurt them anymore. I was so ashamed of everything that I had been doing to the people that I love and care about and want the best for. And during that time frame, I felt like that was the best thing I could do, was just get away, give them a break, because I was a lot to deal with. And while I was there, I had a lot of just personal, like, just time to reflect on everything that I'd ever done in my life, sober. Like, I had a sober mind while I was there, which was the first time in almost, probably well over a year, that I had not had any kind of drugs or alcohol in my body. Like, consecutive days. That was the first time where I was sober for a week straight. And it kind of just let everything that I had been experiencing, that I was suppressing and numbing myself to, come crashing down on me. And all I have to say is thank God those people check on you every 10 minutes there. After I got out of the hospital, I moved up to a little town to go to college and try to get back on my feet, because I still hadn't found God at that point. I still hadn't found Jesus. I did, however, end up dating the most wonderful, I'm still with her, I'm dating the most wonderful human being on the planet. And she has a big part in bringing me back to my faith, because she is a very strong believer. But yeah, I moved up to Emporia, which is the town I went to college in, and tried it. And I felt like after I got out, I felt like the only thing that would keep me sane, I guess, was having a reason, like having to do something. And school was that thing that I had to do. So got enrolled, and I didn't finish even the first year. I think I went for like 4 months, 3 or 4 months, or something, like maybe not even that, I don't know. And yeah, but there's more in there. Let me cherry pick this for a second. While I was in Emporia, I was very alone. I was away from all my friends. Didn't really have. I wasn't liking it. It was in the middle of winter too, and being alone in the winter, kind of not a good combination. And I was still very, like, upset with my life and all of the things that I had done and everything that I had put myself through, and things I couldn't control, which was a lot of things. Yeah, I just ended up, like, looking into, like, certain things. Like, I just remember looking up on my computer, like, how do you survive a quarter life crisis? Am I insane? Am I a psycho? Can I come back from this? What I had been doing? Because I felt like, genuinely, I felt like I was fried. Like, I felt like I had no chance at getting back to who I am now. I was so unconfident. I couldn't even look my parents in the eyes when I talked to them. I couldn't talk to anybody. I couldn't have a conversation unless I was drunk. And I ended up moving. Well, I was looking into stuff on my computer too. There's this thing called All Grown Up. It's this dude who wrote a book. I think that might be the title of the book, but there's like this. He has these things called. It's just like I'm stuttering and saying dumb words. Sorry. It had like a 12 steps to surviving a quarter life crisis on it, and the last one was pray a lot. And that was something that I hadn't done in years. Because I had rejected the idea of a deity, a God, for so long. And I started doing that. I didn't know what I was praying to or what I was praying for. Primarily, I was praying to be shown what I'm praying to. Like I wanted what I was praying to be revealed to me. And I started listening to Christian music a lot, primarily rock and metal, Christian metal and post-hardcore, stuff like that. Anyways, I remember driving around Emporia one night because there's nothing else to do there. I didn't have any friends. I remember driving around by myself, just blaring music, Christian music. And I had been reading the Bible and trying to figure out what it was. I just wanted to know my Savior. And I'm so thankful for the music that I listened to, because a lot of the lyrics had helped me understand that I needed to surrender. Like that wasn't something that went through my head, which makes no sense to me, because I couldn't control anything, and I was just like, this is life. I didn't think that I had that option to surrender, and I felt like I was just going through life and it was just gonna be this shitty, and I honestly thought that if I didn't have a job by the time I got out of college, that I would kill myself. If I didn't have anything going for me, I would kill myself. And then, I started listening to all this music, and I remember driving around one night blaring that music, and I just remember I was so emotional, and I was just crying my eyes out, just driving all over town. And I eventually just did it. I just said, I'm done. Like, I can't do this alone. I need help. I need Jesus to, like, captain my ship. I needed guidance. And I felt like I had been washed. Like I still think about the things that I've done in the past, but it's a reminder to be a better person. But it doesn't hurt me anymore to know what I've done to other people, because I've forgiven myself for I've forgiven myself for who I was, and I hope to God the people that I've hurt in the past forgive me for who I was, the same way that I've forgiven them for who they were. The only reason I have the ability to do that is because He forgave me. And I did not deserve to be forgiven for the things that I'd done. I felt the rush of calmness come through my body whenever I said that, and I just began to research every single thing I could about Jesus. And I was watching, and I still do it. I still listen to debates and religious debates and sermons and spoken words and just poetry in general, music that all revolves around Him. I wanted to be as close as I could to the person that saved my life. And I am saved because of it. So I moved back to Wichita, which is the town that I live in now, and began like hanging out with my friends more often and kind of getting my feet back underneath me. And I was finally kind of getting happy for the first time in a really long time. Excuse me. And yeah, that was about a year ago now. I moved here. Well, never mind. It was well over a year ago. No, wait, yeah, no. It was like February of this year, I think. Wow. Okay, that's weird. Time flies. But, where is I going with this? Yeah, I just kind of, everything started changing so fast in my life. I was happier with my relationship. I wasn't worried about drugs anymore. And I mean, I still do kind of struggle with alcohol and stuff, but I've been getting better at it, and I've dabbled with marijuana every once in a while, but every single time I've tried it after that experience that I had, it's just been nothing but bad for me. So I don't feel like I genuinely feel like that's Jesus telling me no, like, don't do this, don't do those. I don't know. Some people it works for. Maybe it's something completely different. I don't know. Those are questions for when I meet him. And I'm blanking out. Yeah, everything just started changing after that. I was happier. I wasn't driven by lust anymore. And I had a lot to repair in Wichita. A lot to repair with my family and my friends. And I felt ashamed of like what I had done, but I felt good that I finally had the confidence to apologize for my actions and who I was and stop being a victim to everything. And yeah. I'm here today. Like I thought I was never going to be able to speak a full sentence again where I was at a year ago. And now I am happy. Like I can talk. I can have a conversation with anybody. I don't feel anxious about going out and seeing the world anymore. And I don't feel the existential dread of thinking that you're just a mistake from the start, spinning on another mistake, and an even bigger mistake. Yeah, I feel happy. I feel saved. I feel content, and I feel like I'm back to who I'm meant to be. Like whenever Jesus entered my life, I was washed. I felt like the chains had just busted off of my ankles and my wrists, and I felt like I was delivered genuinely. And I'm trying to figure out how to end this without leaving anything out, and it's just making me sound like I'm rambling, so I'm sorry. I'm going to try to cut some of this out if I can. And I feel like now my true purpose in life is to share this and to share this with everybody I meet, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and the light, and He's everything. He is the only answer to anybody's problem. He's the only one that can fix it, and He's the only one that can take you where you need to go after you die. And some people, like, you've no idea how many people I've met that have said that they will never accept the idea of a God or accept Jesus into their life. That have Jesus in their life now, and I'm one of those people that completely, I was a blaspheming piece of crap. Like, I just said the worst things about God. I to the point of even saying, if there is a God, He's turned His back on us and He's focused on something else, gave up on us entirely. And yeah. And I don't. He forgives everybody for what we do in our time here on earth. He doesn't see us by our faults and by our failures and by our missteps. He sees the good in us, in every single one of us, even though every single person on this planet has a heart black as coal. That's the reason Jesus is there. He is there to fill the God-sized hole in your chest that everybody has, that void that everybody talks about. He is the only answer that can stop you from feeling that. It'll give your life meaning and truth and a sense of confidence that you can take out into the world every day, knowing that you are in the arms of something that cares about you so much more than you could ever comprehend. I don't know if that's a good place to end this or not, and I don't know if I'm even going to post this, but I'm going to end it there. Thank you. If you've watched it to this point, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.